Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna have episode 2 of my 5-minute budgets, and this is going to be budgeting for a new project slash hobby. So I have my Projo here because this is actually what I used to budget, but you guys might have seen that I have recently gotten back into sewing, and you will see on here because I'm gonna be doing some videos about it. But what I thought I would go through today was how I actually figured out what it would cost me to start this new project, because my mom used to sew and I used to sew with her, but I personally have never owned like more than a basic little sewing kit that has like, you know, hand stitching needles and like that kind of stuff. So I am getting into sewing clothing, which means I definitely need a sewing machine and all of that. So this was sort of my process for how I figured out what it was going to cost me to start a new hobby and kind of whether it was going to be worth it, which spoiler alert, it was. So this is my sewing research sort of planning page in here, and there's nothing below here. I just kind of zoomed in so you guys could see a little bit better. So what I did is I went through and I actually figured out, so let me show you my first step. I have this journal that I was using while I was in Seattle, and I actually made a quick list of things I was going to need. So that is basically what I put in here. When I was brainstorming, I thought about, okay, what have we been using? Because I actually sewed some clothes when I was visiting my friend in Seattle. And I thought about, okay, what have we been using and what is the minimum that I could get away with in order to actually start making clothes and have them be like still, you know, good quality. I don't need all the bells and whistles, but I need enough. So obviously sewing machine was first off. I also needed an iron and an ironing board, and this actually just came in today. I need a large cutting mat so I can obviously cut out my pieces. I need a large ruler, a large rotary cutter. So this actually I haven't done because I have a small, it's literally like this big. I have a small rotary cutter that I'm gonna try and see if it can work with, I can work with that, but I'm gonna need to either get a bigger one and or replacement blades for the small one. So we'll see. I needed straight pins, a seam gauge, thread and bobbins, obviously, fabric and notions. So these ones are at the bottom because, you know, these are kind of your basic materials, and then these are going to change based on what you actually are going to be making. So what I did then is I kind of scrolled through Amazon and was like, all right, roughly how much do I think I can get these things for? So it looked like on kind of the lower end, I could get a sewing machine for about 200. I aimed high on both the iron and the ironing board. I said about 50. You know, I thought a cutting mat was gonna be about 25, a large ruler was gonna be about 20, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of went through, and you'll notice these last 3 I left blank because those are sort of my variables. And what I ended up doing is I got a lot of this stuff on Amazon. So any of the ones that have a side slash or are filled in minus the seam gauge, I actually got from Amazon. So basically all of this section right here minus the rotary cutter I actually got on Amazon. So I actually put the order through while I was at the airport on my way home from Seattle, and you can see here this was my estimated cost. So I thought that for about 300 or 400 euros I was going to be able to actually start sewing. Obviously I'll need to get different fabric and stuff over time, but just like the basic materials and then enough materials for me to make a couple of pieces was going to be about 300 or 400 euros. So when I actually put the order through on Amazon, I updated with my actual costs. So I was able to get a sewing machine for about 140 euros. I got my iron for about 20. My ironing board, I had to change this at the last second. I think it was actually like 30 because I almost accidentally bought an ironing board cover and not an ironing board. That was almost catastrophic. Then I got a large ruler. So I got a large ruler and a French curve for about 23. I got straight pins for about 4, and I bought a seam gauge in the US for $4. And I also got a box and a set of 25 bobbins for about 150. So that was kind of my initial, and I haven't even added this up. Let's take a peek. So I actually am going to be able to start for about like 250, and then obviously adding in these extra things. So I actually went to the sewing store when I got home yesterday. I spent about 30 euros. I got like 6 different kinds of thread. I got elastic. I got sewing scissors and a little like thread snipper. So that was another 30 on here. So I think I'm gonna be between like 250, 300 just for my general startup costs. And then obviously I will be getting different notions in fabric based on projects. I also got my wish list thing. I got some tracing paper. It's actually like 4 patterns. It's a roll. It's like 2.5 meters long. I think I got it for like $2, like two euros or something like that. So as you can see, like this was a really simple budget, but it was enough for me to say like, okay, this isn't going to be like a 600 euro startup cost. Like it's pretty like reasonable. And I'm still waiting on some of this stuff. So I'm going to go through, but basically what I decided to do was take any of the money that was left over from what I had budgeted for my trip in Seattle. That is going into my sewing fund. I have some side income. So I've decided I'm going to put that towards my initial startup for the sewing fund. And I'm going to go through and see if there are any other categories I can pull from. But because it isn't a hugely expensive one, it's definitely something that I can cover in my budget. And if I pull from something that, you know, I need to replace, I'll do that at the end of the month. So that is how I budgeted for starting my new hobby in sewing clothing. Hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any like specific things that you want to see how I've budgeted for, let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.